Good day. It's so good to see you again, and welcome to Insight, your platform for free discourse of issues of public interest. As usual, Insight is serving you a three-course meal. Our discussion segment, our special interview, and the video review are ready for your viewing pleasure. On our discussion segment, though the 2013 general elections are still several months away, the political tempo is rising at an alarming proportion. On December 18, 2013, 37 members of the People's Democratic Party and the Federal House of Representatives defected in a major cross-carpeting move to the opposition All Progressive Congress, APC, changing the political equation and configuration against the PDP in the lower chambers for the first time since 1999. The defected members, obviously cognizant of constitutional provision, hinged their defection on the alleged fractionalization and division within the PDP. The PDP is, however, crying foul, describing the action as ultra-vires and unconstitutional, saying there is no division in the party and therefore calling on the House to declare their seat vacant. But as there are factions within the PDP, and can this defection stand the test of time? Join us on our discussion segment. 2014 is a unique year for the Nigerian nation as the nation marks 100 years of the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorate. For more of the significance of the centenary celebrations and what it portends for the future of Nigeria, Mr. Sam Onwa-Obese, Special Assistant in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the office starting with the responsibility of the celebration, is our guest on the interview segment. Emito KDG is also ready to serve you with the media review. Emito.
Thank you very much, Femi. Good day, viewers. You're welcome to the second edition of Insight for the year. Once again, Happy New Year. Later on, I'll be speaking with an insightful gentleman on the media review segment. This media expert will talk on a few issues highlighted in the media for the week. Once again, you're welcome.
My name is Femi Adesila. Up next is our discussion segment. Don't go away. Welcome back. The constituency of the recent defection of 37 members of the Federal House of Representatives from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to All Progressive Congress, APC, is now a subject of political crossfire between gladiators of the two political parties. To discuss this on Insight today are Mr. Joe Abago, one-time Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Benue State. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Femi.
And of course, I have Mr. King Onoja, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me start with Mr. Bago, as one-time Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of the State. Let's look at the defection. Is it in tandem with the Constitution?
I will say yes, it is in tandem with the Constitution, even though Section 68 of the Constitution generally provides against defection. There is a saving provision, there is a proviso under Section 61, Section 68, subsection 1G. And that section says that if a member belongs to a party that has a faction or a division, then such a member of such a faction is at liberty to defect. It says the same thing in respect of a merger. Where a merger takes place, all the members that were elected under a previous party that now comes under a new merger would also not suffer any loss of seat by virtue of they are losing the name of the original party that brought them into the parliament. So, in short, the defections are acceptable under all parliamentary democracies around the world.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. King, the beauty of the argument is existence of division of factions, whether there are factions within the PDP. Do you believe there are factions within the PDP?
I do not agree that there are factions within the PDP. First of all, we must always accept that on the basis of political party, basis of actions in political parties, there are always going to be small subdivisions. There are always cliques, there are always groupings, there are always arrangements. It's a part of the political party system. And even in the House of Representatives, for instance, we have the G7, we have the Integrity Group, we have the G, there are all sorts of Gs.
Okay.
So groupings in political parties are always part of the political process. However, that a particular position says, a particular group says that they are dissatisfied with status quo, or I don't think that automatically translates to a division within the context of the position.
So the emergence of the new PDP that has been quashed by court of law, do you see it as a problem? Yes.
I don't see it as a problem, particularly with respect to the fact that a court of competent jurisdiction, after having reviewed the facts, asserted that PDP is one, that there's one political party, there's one legal entity, and that the rest of it, was illegal, null and void. Particularly, the court gave orders to those particular people, Kawu Baraje, Olabunji Oyinlola, and several other people, and told them to stop parading themselves as officials of the political party, to stop, making representations on the basis of their having walked out of the special convention. It also held that it recognized the special convention of the PDP, recognized the net led by Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, and gave recognition to that one part of the PDP. There's nothing else. Okay. Legally, there's nothing else.
Okay. Let's go back to you now. In the case of, you want to respond to that?
Yes, I want to respond to that. I want to say that his analysis of the decision of the court simply confirms that there is indeed a faction and a division. Why do I say so? What is a simple dictionary definition of faction? It's a clique of a larger group. It's a division of a larger group. And simply put,
we're talking about the
court ruling simply says, yes, the authentic PDP that is recognized by law is the one led by Tukur because they have the certificate of incorporation of registration and is also recognized by INEC. But that does not mean there did not exist as a matter of fact a new PDP. What is a faction? A group broke out of a convention. Yes, the convention was accepted. The group formed its executive council. The group now elected its officials. What else would you recognize as a faction?
Let's take a look at the Supreme Court ruling. I'm talking of Amici and Omeya's Supreme Court ruling, which says that in the case of an election, it is the party that goes into election and not the candidate. Does not survive in this case.
Remember that the Amici case, the Amici-Omeya case is no longer the law in Nigeria today. By virtue of the Electoral Act of 2011, we see that no person, no candidate will be recognized as elected if he did not go through all the processes that resulted in his election.
That's right. So I'm not asking that. I'm talking about all the people
involved today were elected under the 2011 Electoral Act and are therefore guided by the provisions of that act. And that means that they went through all the processes of the election, and the Supreme Court decision saying that it is a political party that goes into election does not mean that the candidate is not as important as the party election.
Okay, what's your take on that? On that Omeya, Amici?
Amici versus Omeya said quite a lot of things.
Okay.
Right. And what my learned senior just said is one of the many things it said. Now, having that portion of the Electoral Act, which it says that a political party, a candidate has to go through the entire process before he can be declared winner of the elections, is only one of the changes that the Electoral Act made to make sure that some of the principles in Amici versus Omeya couldn't apply after 2011. But it did not go along to abrogate every other thing that was said. So, for instance, the Supreme Court categorically said that it is the party that is the sponsoring platform for the election. The party provides the platform, provides the funding, provides the network. You can now not take the benefit of all that hard work, all that investment, and go somewhere else. It belongs to the political party. It is the reason, for instance, and this is upfront, the Supreme Court didn't say this, but I'm also telling you this. It is the reason why if you look at the ballot box, you do not see the name or picture of the candidate. You see the emblem and logo of the political party. You campaign next to the emblem and logo of the political party. It is categorical that there is no independent candidature. The seat doesn't inure to you. It inures to the political party. If you are leaving the political party, you leave the property of the political party behind. Or you leave it open for contest.
Or also take on that.
my take is that the mandate of the people is given to a candidate of the party. It is not given to a political party, because there are constitutional provisions for you to qualify before you can contest an election. And without a candidate, there cannot be an election, that party cannot contest an election. On the other hand, the candidate alone, without his party, can challenge the mandate that has been given to him. So that shows that the candidate remains superior to that of the political party. Secondly, what does the fundamental right of freedom of association entail? Section 36 of the 7 of the Constitution provides for you your freedom of association. And that means that provision can make, allows you to move from an association you do not wish to belong to another one. And that is what Section 68 of Section 1G is preserving. You can move from a party to another one so long as you fulfill certain conditions, and these conditions were fulfilled by 37 members.
Thank you. Mr. King, before I want you can respond to that, but I want to take this along with that. What are the options left to the PDP if you so dissatisfied with the defection?
Okay, before I respond to that, I want to read a portion of the judgment of the Supreme Court in the case of Amaechi versus Ogunde. Okay. This was the Honorable Justice Oguntade Asidenwol. Okay. He says, now Section 221 of the 1999 Constitution provides, no association other than a political party shall canvass for votes for any candidate at any election or contribute to the funds of any party or to election of expenses of any candidate at any election. He goes on to say, the above provision effectually removes the possibility of independent candidacy in our elections and places emphasis and responsibility in elections on political parties. Without a political party, a candidate cannot contest. The primary method to contest for elective officers is therefore between parties. If, as provided by Section 221 above, it is only a party that canvasses for votes, it follows that it is a party that wins an election.
Okay, now what are the options?
The options that are open to the PDP are the same options that were applied in Ondo State by the Labour Party. When
which case is that?
Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde, it's a case that is presently pending in the Court of Appeal, but has been decided in the Federal High Court. Okay. If Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde moved from PDP, where he was, over to Labour Party, contested an election on the platform of Labour Party, won the election. A few months thereafter, purported to move to the ACN along with his seat. Honorable Justice Gloria Okeke of the Federal High Court refused and says no, the seat is the property of the political party. Because there is a fusion of party and candidates, once you leave, that is not a whole unit anymore. Therefore, INEC conducts an election, conducts a by-election, and fill up that position. Honorable Abegunde has gone to the Court of Appeal, and that matter is still pending. However, because a judgment has been given, that is the law as of today.
No, the basis for that decision is that there was no division or faction within the Labour Party. That's the basis for that decision. It is not because that person had no right.
Well, in this case, is saying there are no divisions.
Let me
remain one indivisible family.
But that is not a matter of fact.
Can I clarify something?
As a matter of fact, there is a new PDP, and there is also the old PDP.
But the system has been modified by the court of the line. The new PDP.
The new PDP you see, that there exists a faction does not mean that both factions must be recognized by INEC. It is because there is a problem in the party that there is a division.
Sorry.
And as a law says, when there is a division, then you have liberty to defect. But if there is no division, if there is no faction, you have no right to defect. That's the difference between the case and
can we quickly go back to the fact of Abegunde's case? Okay. The facts of the case are very simple. The then chairman of the Labour Party in those states decamped to the ACN. Now, Honorable Abegunde's assertion was that in the whole rancor leading up to and following the division and following the defection, that there was a division in the Labour Party, and that that defection led to the state chairman defecting.
Despite that, the court still ruled against.
The court said that the mere fact of defection and disagreements within a political party do not automatically meet the standards for this division that we're talking about. The court held up to that point and says no, that some people are disgruntled and unhappy and say they want to leave the political party. Does not disgruntlement and unhappiness is a fundamental part of the political process. You cannot divorce being unhappy in a political party and being disgruntled in a political party from the political process. Otherwise, it's not politics. Politics is almost a war. I mean, it's a very nice, very well-couched war. But, I mean, it's a war all the same. If somebody is looking to win, somebody is looking to lose. As long as there's a winner, there'll be a loser. As long as there's a loser, there'll be an unhappy person. But the fact that everybody who loses an election or a primary election and goes to court, does that mean the party is divided? Okay, of course not.
In Federal says that the chairman of Labour Party becomes to ACN did not mean a faction. He simply defected to another party. But a faction exists where there is a division within a group, and that new division has its own structure, has offices, has officers, has every other thing to challenge the authenticity of the older faction. That is where a faction exists. They walked out of a national convention that was going on
and formed a
parallel structure that is very different from PDP. So what does that mean? Both of them are claiming to be authentic PDP. So that is a factor.
I'm sorry. Okay, before you go on, again, we have to go back to the facts of Ishedaya Adegunde's case. Okay. We have to go back to the facts of Ishedaya Adegunde's case. Now, after Dr. Olaya Oni, who was the state chairman, moved to the ACN, remember I said in the run-up to his defection to the ACN and thereafter, there was a tussle as to who would fill his seat. This led to the existence of two state executive committees. There were two in the Labour Party. One was headed by, one was headed by Chief Olu Ogidan, and another was headed by Kunle Odidi. Two of them, there were two factions, there were two state chairmen. But despite that, it is said, once they had gone through their processes, and the court held that one of these factions only was going to be recognized, the second one, for all intents and purposes, ceases to exist.
A faction of a party exists at the national level, not at the state level. Nobody has ever challenged the chairmanship of Dan Wanya, the national chairman of Labour.
Okay.
They have never.
Let's leave that level. The question I want to ask is, what does this portend for the polity? This defection. Is it a good omen? Is it a bad omen? Is it enhancing our democracy? Is it weakening it, in your own view?
It is enhancing our democracy. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. These are the things that allow for stability in our polity. In every consumer democracy, we have come from a long history of military dictatorship. And therefore we see things in a rather straight-jacketed manner. And it's maybe somebody holding a chain up to stop you from exercising your constitutional rights and freedoms inside the Constitution. If there's a freedom of expression, and if the Constitution provides for defection, it is being expressed, it is being given expression in the Constitution, and should be allowed to flow.
Do you share that view?
I don't agree. And respectfully, I actually vehemently do not agree. And the reason is very simple. We've come, like you said, we've come from a place of military dictatorship where the chain was held up and you were compelled to do something. There was no thought process, there was no ideology. We've come into democracy now, we ought to stand for something. This thing of one person moving from one political party to another political party to another political party to be able to achieve power by every means necessary is what actually oversees the policy. It's not what calms it down. It doesn't do us any favors.
I'm talking about morals now.
We need people, even as democratic ideals, we need people to be able to stand up and say, this is what I stand for. This is what I represent. Moving from the PDP to the APC to the whatever other party that you will move to in the future does not stand for something. You're falling for everything. And that cannot be said to be so. It is not right. Now, Remember,
I think it's terrible. I think it's saying that we should practice policies of ideology, of philosophy, of belief, of conviction.
What is policies of ideology? Policies of ideology, as he is talking about, does not quite exist in this country as of yet. We are just evolving. So now we have that if we look at the manifestos of both parties, of the APC, for instance, and the PDP, they are similar, except to the extent that APC promises you free education and certain other things and more participation of government in the economic development. Now, if we allow individuals who feel that the space within which they are operating is too dictatorial, has impunity, does not allow them freedom of expression, does not allow them to operate in a manner that enhances freedom, through democracy. And there's a realignment of forces. That is what is going to lead to proper ideological politics. Now, the people who are defecting from PDP are those who have now felt that the PDP no longer holds anything good for them, and are therefore looking for a forum that will now enhance their potential.
Okay. Mr. King, do you believe that the House should declare the seat of the 37 members vacant?
I actually do believe so. But like I said,
on what premise did you do that?
What premise? Yes. The premise I believe is going back to the Constitution. I believe that the PDP has gone the proper way. We've gone to seek the PDP. Well, I'm a member of the PDP, so I mean I can say that. I can say we. The party has gone to seek judicial interpretation of relevant sections of the Constitution. However, I need to say that this thing of alignment and realignment, right? We often have, for instance, I'll give an example. Former Vice President Squad Baka, he left the PDP, went to the ACN, came back to the PDP. What exactly do you stand for? What exact representation do you give to anybody? You cannot come...
It's talking about freedom of association. You have the right in a democracy.
Nobody says that you shouldn't associate freely, right? And I actually do think if you want to exercise those freedoms, exercise those freedoms. Nobody's saying you shouldn't. But the property of someone that you were reading on his back to achieve a status, to achieve a level, to achieve an office, leave the office. My statement to anybody who believes that they are, because we've heard so much rancor about popularity, about growing profile in the country. If you believe in your popularity and your profile, leave the seat, go back and test it in the public.
So you are saying that we can exercise our freedom of association without false rumors and philosophy and ideology.
Your freedom starts when my freedom stops. Okay. Now, and if I vote for you on the platform of the PDP, only for you to use that platform, deceive me, get my vote, and then move somewhere else, I believe you're being fraudulent.
Okay. Now, what's the take? Do you think the House should declare the seat of the 37 members vacant?
No, at all, because they have acted properly under the Constitution. Therefore, the House cannot and should not declare that it's vacant. What did the Supreme Court say in respect of Atiku when he left as vice president and went to the AC? The Supreme Court says he had a right to move, and the other tenure with the president who was PDP and he as an AC. So the freedom of association is held higher than any other law that you can think about within the Constitution, because the freedom of association belongs to the first chapter of the Constitution, which is fundamental rights enforcement. And the fundamental rights are far superior to all other provisions of the Constitution, because it needs 3/4 of the votes to amend a section of the Constitution, to amend a provision of the fundamental rights. Whereas it needs only 2/3 to amend the rights by other provisions of the Constitution. So that's a superior right.
But his own point is that we should not exercise this right without recourse to morals, to ideologies, or philosophies, that we should just cross carpet without taking into cognizance those who voted for you on the platform of a political party. That's the stake. I'm just repeating what you said.
No, does that matter at all? No, the issue will still go back to the electorate. The people who the camps, they went properly and consulted with their electorate, at least that's what they say. They consulted with their electorate, and the electorate says this is the direction to go. And they're responding to what the electorate says. If such people did not respond to what the electorate says, but they'll be voted the next time they come up. So leave it to the people. These are freedoms that must be exercised. for democracy to grow.
So do you believe we are growing, that we are evolving?
Nigeria will evolve every day.
I mean, our democracy.
Our democracy, the beautiful thing about democracy is that it evolves every day. And I actually do believe that if we go to court, whether the Supreme Court votes, whether the court system, judicial system votes for or against my position, I believe there's been an evolution. And we have learned something new. And a new principle and a new peg has been set.
That's right.
I agree. We would evolve whichever which way. But it is my contention that if we go the other way, we're not going the proper way. It is my belief, and I actually do, and I know several people who believe the same thing as well. I think that we need to get to this point. Like he says, he says it will be for the electorate, and at the end of their tenure, if the electorate doesn't agree, they'll be voted out. Why wait till then? Meanwhile, the party that gave him investment, that invested in his election, that provided the platform on which he contested, that provided the network, is deprived between now and the next election, 2 years, maybe a year or thereabouts.
But this argument is very serious. You would have come to PDP, no problem. The governor of Abia becomes no problem. Becomes no problem. Zamfara becomes no problem. How come there's a problem now?
Thank you very much.
When the champions are to PDP, there's no problem.
If somebody decides to sleep on his right, it is the person's.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the program, Mr. Joe Vargo, former Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Benue State.
Thank you very much, Mr.
And of course, Mr. King,
thank you,
legal practitioner, analyst. Thank you very much. Next is our special interview segment on Insight. Don't go away. Welcome back. Nigeria as a nation is in celebration mood. And the nation and the Nigerian people obviously have reasons to cheer, to celebrate, and to be thankful, and of course, to toast. It is a century of existence as one nation, despite challenges, twists, and turns. On this side this morning, to discuss the centenary celebrations is the special assistant to the Secretary of the Government of Federation, Mr. Sam Nwabisi. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's nice having you.
Thank you.
Before we go into the celebration proper, and the highlight of the celebration, as a Nigerian, in your own candid opinion, do we have reasons to celebrate?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I think every right-thinking Nigerian will agree that 100 years in the life of a nation is something we need to celebrate. Nigeria is one country that is blessed with a lot of resources, human and material, natural, human and material resources, and we've worked over these last 100 years as a nation, and we have come a long way. The simple reason that Nigeria today is still one united country is enough reason to celebrate. If you look at the experiences we have had as a nation, we have survived a very serious civil war. We have had different political challenges. We survived them. In the recent time, we had the trial. We had the thought, and that some of these issues are something less than what caused some other nations in this world to disintegrate. Nigerians have stayed together. We have worked together. We have weathered the storms of all of these challenges, and we still remain a united country as of today. That's enough reason to celebrate.
Thank you very much.
Now, we've had a lot of people express views. There is no reason to celebrate. Now, assuming he's an individual, even if the person is an imbecile and is able to make 100 years, the family will say, thank God this person has been here for 100 years. And not talk of a nation that we are on the rise. If you look at where we are, it's unfortunate that most Nigerians are the ones who don't see anything good about this nation. Outside this country, many people in this world know that Nigeria is the country that is going to happen in the nearest future. And that alone is enough reason for us to celebrate. I'm sure we'll come back to this issue.
Okay, we'll go back there.
Yeah.
Now that you've smoothly articulated how to share, how to celebrate, let me ask you, what are the significant milestones already highlighted or listed for the celebration?
The celebration
if you recall, the day of the centenary is 1st of January 2014. But the program started on the 4th of February 2013, when the President Goodluck Jonathan, in the company of 5 former heads of state and president and eminent Nigerians from all walks of life, flagged off the centenary celebration at the State House Banquet Hall on the 4th of February this year. And a number of programs were lined up in the concept document for the celebration. From that day, activities have been going on at different levels. I recall that we've had 100 years of Nigerian women celebrated in Lagos on the 17th to 19th of April. We've had the Nigerian birthday celebrated, the centenary edition, on 1st of May. We've had a number of last year. So the activities, the celebration started after the flag off on the 4th of February, and several things have been going on. And then the culmination of the celebration will be the grand finale, which is scheduled to take place around the ending of February and first few days of March this 2013.
If this is about Nigerians, yes, and it's for Nigerians, is there an effort to make it citizen participatory?
Fine. In fact, if you look at the concept document, in fact, the original idea of the centenary celebration is something unique and something we must thank the President for, the way he designed or advised them to design the centenary program. It's in such a way to make it that Nigerians will own the celebration. Nigerians will drive the celebration. And Nigerians will fund the celebration.
Oh my God.
For the first time, government is doing a celebration that is not making any budgetary provision for it. Every single kobo that has been spent on the centenary has been generated from the sponsors from the private sector. Government has not brought in any money. Now, sometimes when people begin to criticize the centenary celebration, I begin to wonder, is it because they didn't see what to criticize? Because if there had been an amount of money budgeted, that is what people have been feasting on. Our government is spending this kind of money, celebrating centenary, when ABCD are yet to be done.
But how that is a disconnect? There's no communication. That people are not actually aware that that is the mode of the celebration and the funding of the program.
No. It's not correct that people are unaware. Before the flag off ceremony on 4th of February, the SGF with the committee went round this nation, made consultation with every group in Nigeria. The presentation on the centenary, before the final concept document was presented, was made to the Federal Executive Council. Federal Council approved, made input, and gave approval. It was taken to the National Economic Council, with the Vice President chairs that has all the state governors. The document, at that time it was a draft concept document, was presented to all the governors. They looked at it, made recommendations, made input. It was presented to the National Assembly, first to the Senate. Senators sat, listened to the presentations, made input, made observations. It was presented to the House of Representatives. They listened, made input, made observations. It was taken to the press, the media in Lagos. Editors, line editors, all manner of journalists.
Where are people criticizing it?
No, let me go down the line. We took it to Nollywood people, the artists, they made observation, made an input. We took it to civil society. We took it to labor organizations. And we took it to women's organizations, youth organizations, all categories, all sectors of the Nigerian national society were consulted, and their input harvested. That was what culminated in the final concept document that was presented by the President on the day of the flag off.
Now, one major aspect of the program for the celebration that sounds so interesting is the Centenary City project. Tell me about this.
Now, okay, see, the Centenary celebration is such a very unique celebration, well-packaged program by this administration that Nigerians should, I'm sure maybe after now, Nigerians will look back and say, this is one wonderful legacy the President will be leaving behind anytime he leaves office. Now, the centenary celebration, the President said, look, let us make it a Nigerian people celebration. Now, it has to be private sector driven, a new concept in government program management. Now, the essence of that is that let Nigerians participate fully. Now, one of the legacy projects, among other legacy projects that have been, put down for the centenary celebration is the Centenary City project. It is a brand new city that will be built somewhere along the airport road. Okay, that will be a city that is comparable to any other city you can imagine in the world. with first-class infrastructure, excellent security, everything that you go and see in Dubai, in Paris, everywhere in the world. So the essence is that let's develop a city in Nigeria, because Nigerians like life. They like the government. They go all over the world holidaying. Let us build a city where Nigerians can come and relax. You don't have to be for visa.
Is it like a tourist site or a tourist center?
The focus is tourism, it's culture, tourism, and business. In fact, the entire city, most people may be thinking is another housing estate. The residential component of that city is designed to be not more than 100,000 people in that city. But it is essentially to promote leisure and tourism and business. So we're going to have here, and the people that are still doubting will be shocked one morning. They'll wake up in Abuja and see a city that is comparable to anything you have seen anywhere in the world.
How far have we go with this to make it a reality?
What has been best so far is that because it's private sector driven, government reasoned that let it be owned by a private company. It's not going to be a government city. It's not government that is funding it or building it. A private company called Central City PLC has been incorporated. During the process of consultation, opportunity was given to Nigerians who want to be part of the city to identify to be investors in the city. And a number of Nigerians, the number of people from outside this country came together and formed this Central City PLC. The board of the city is now in place. The board is chaired by no less a person than the former head of state, General Abdullah Abubakar. That's the chairman of the board. And a number of credible big Nigerians are on the board. The board has taken up. They are recruiting management. They have a managing director now, and other staffers are being recruited. And the city is gathering momentum. Every arrangement is being put in place. I'm sure one of these days we can get the management or a member of the board to talk about the city.
Is there any other project or any other program of this magnitude?
Oh yes, there are a lot of legacy projects that are incorporated into the concept document. Something that Nigerians would benefit from. Something that we will remember long after the festivities are over. Now, and then the issue is that funds are being raised for this legacy project. Private individuals, companies, and corporate organizations are being requested to sponsor. There are projects in the health sector, there are projects in the academic sector, and sports. Legacy projects, building of stadia and then provision of sports facilities and infrastructure, upgrading of teaching hospitals and all the things in the health sector, and a number of other things that have been designed. But marketers are out there. In fact, one of the things that was done is that because the government is not putting money to fund the centenary, a marketer was appointed. And they're all over the place looking for sponsors to sponsor one aspect of the celebration.
How would you describe the reactions and response from Nigerians?
Oh yes, I mean, I can tell you, Nigerians are responding.
I mean the private sector.
Yeah, they are responding because all the money that's spent so far on that activities were generated by the private sector, by the company. During the flag off ceremony, Dangote, First Bank, Ibeto, all of them were part of the people that sponsored the flag off ceremony. Sanfa Oil by Mrs. Lamakido single-handedly sponsored the women program in Lagos. A number of other people are coming in one way or the other. There are several other programs that are outside the official program for the grand finale. People are doing football exhibition, people are doing trade exhibitions, all manner of activities are going on. Some of them will come on during this period before the grand finale, and some may spill over after the grand finale. All of these programs are being sponsored by different private organizations. Okay. Now, including the memorabilia, like the lapel pin I'm wearing here, is designed by a private company. They got the right from the Centenary Committee. They are marketing it all over Nigeria. People are buying. There is the Centenary wrapper. People are using to for the celebrations or something. Another company got the right. They produce it themselves. They are marketing to Nigerians are buying.
Do you see the economic boosting strategy?
Oh, fine. It's creating jobs and income for a number of people. That is one of the grand strategies for the involve Nigerians and create opportunities for Nigerians to celebrate, participate, and of course, if you make some money and get some income. And that is happening on all fronts.
Obviously, from the hand of government, everything like no other. When government is not beginning money, people are just participating.
It's a total new concept in government celebration. And I think it's something we will learn from this. And I think it's something we should uphold as a way of reducing cost of running government. If we do a whole centenary and government didn't have to go to the budget, 2014, there's nothing on centenary. 2013, there was nothing on centenary. And we are able to run the centenary in plan. So that tells us that several other things that we'll do in the future, we can, in the same manner, fund them from the sector. And then create opportunity for the private sector and private individuals to partner with government in the development process.
If this is celebrating our togetherness as a nation for 100 years, is there a program that is tailored towards building the values of unity in this nation, bringing people across 250 ethnic groups together? Is there a program of that nature?
No, but you see, the program is somewhat decentralized. If you look at the concept document, I don't know if you have a copy, state governments were encouraged to develop the state program for the centenary. Yes. Look at areas that are peculiar to your people, things that resonate with people as far as the history and development of Nigeria is concerned. Each state was encouraged, and the number of them are responding. If you go to look at Ebonyi has a whole program on Nigeria centenary. Rivers State has Kwara State, yes, Kogi State. A number of states have designed their own programs in which people from the state are participating at various levels. That is the way the government believes that Nigerians will be part of the celebration and benefit and learn a lot from it. Because there is no one program that you can do in Abuja that can bring Nigerians from all over the nation to participate. So it has to be decentralized so that at every point, at every part of this country, the celebration participate. Because if you do it here only, maybe a few people that have the opportunity may watch on television or participate, but the rest of Nigeria, the states, the local government may not have the opportunity to participate. So government thought it would be nice to involve all Nigerians. You can take part in one program or the centenary or the other as designed and implemented by the state.
Now, what is your message for Nigerians? In an occasion of this nature, and the virtue of your position, how strategic you are to this celebration, what lessons should we learn from the celebration now, that will sustain the amalgamation and be together?
The mission of the centenary is to re-inspire the unity of Nigeria. We have covered one mention. And let no politics, let no religion, let no issue make us go upward. There's a lot to gain by being a very big country with a population of over 160 million people. The rest of the world are envying Nigeria. We should look at what we have, celebrate what we have, stay together, and overcome whatever challenges we face as a nation. This country is abundantly blessed. We must come together as a people and enjoy the good benefits the Lord has given us here as a country. Policies, they will come and go, or who will rule and who will not rule. These are with us every day. But Nigeria is a very blessed nation. I know you go outside this country. I don't know how you feel when you're outside the shore of this country and how you feel when you come back. It does not matter what people are saying about us. Yeah. What we are saying about Nigeria is a beautiful country. We should resist every attempt, every incitement by anybody to break. And of course, Nigerian leaders, Nigerians know that that is not an alternative. Now, the government has said, okay, if there are issues to be discussed, the national dialogue is there. Let us table as a people, peace-loving people, and resolve these issues. We have done such things before, and we will do it again. We will be united. Nigeria will remain prosperous. All our potentials will harness, and will become the great nation we want to be. And the whole world will continue to envy us.
Thank you very much. That has been Mr. Sam Welcome for coming on the program.
Thank you so very much.
Speaking about the centenary celebration, the programs lined up, telling us that there's unity in diversity. Thank you very much. Up next, our media review. Don't go away.
You're welcome to the media review segment. Joining me today to examine the likely ghosts and other issues as reported by the media for this week, Simon Imobo Twam, a former newspaper editor and the CEO of Due Season Communication Limited. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Let's get right to the first story. The Punch newspaper on page 12. It reported that a woman's mom died in Governor Ali's office. And it also said on that same story as well, it also reported, and you can take a look at it on page 12. Right here. Thank you very much. It said that there is no official statement from the government as of the filing of this report, but the governor was said to have hurriedly left his office after. That was the Punch Tuesday, January 7th. The Nation reported that same story on Wednesday, saying that Governor Ali, this is on page, sure about that, on page 9, it reported saying that nobody died in my office. Ali. Now, what do you think? Do you think that the Punch newspaper should have waited or should have gone a bit further to actually get or confirm the death, what happened, what really happened?
This is an issue of reporting.
Okay.
The job of a state person is a very simple job. Sometimes in your state, you can just make a call and get a story from a colleague. So once a colleague take and give the same story to about 5 correspondents, they are likely to replicate the same thing. I read a story in The Guardian. Basically the same story. Now, there was no effort at all that was made to get the government side, because you have a CPS, you have then you have a government house doctor, and you have people in the governor's office. So effort we have made, it should have reflected. No effort, there was an effort, there was a willingness, a result. So the person just circulated it to police and they went down with it. That for a paper like Punch, especially, that prides itself on accuracy, there's an effort to get a voice from government to put a stamp of objectivity on the story.
Story, the Vanguard newspaper on page 38. It says Odua to build that with 50 million naira. Odua to build airport graveyard million naira. It went further to say that she has stirred another controversy with a plan to build an airport graveyard with a sum of 50 million naira this year. Now, what do you think about this personalizing the office?
First of all, it's not newspapers. In this instance, it's one newspaper, Vanguard. Look at Vanguard. Straight away, the story, the headline is malicious. Because it's the minister acting in her official capacity. So you are the FG Ministry of Aviation, not the minister, not the person of Odua. As it explain the circumstances surrounding her person now, what's happening here. So, anyone seeing this headline sees if Odua is going to eat 50 million, which is not true. I'm not saying the figure is appropriate. The issue that the FG redeemed, not the woman as a person. It's as if Vanguard is feasting on the woman.
They are taking opportunity, using this as an opportunity to continue feasting and...
Yes, and man is very bad life. Once you see the story, you say, another thief, another incident of stealing, another incident of stealing. Without prejudice to what may be happening elsewhere, the story is the headline is in very bad taste.
Okay.
Very bad taste.
Okay, let's move on to the next story now. The Nation, page 67. It was reported that unsettled Bayelsa PDP. APC's claim. Do you think it's misleading saying that 2 million people in the whole of Bayelsa defected from PDP to APC when there are only about 1.7 million people?
Once again, it's another issue of privacy and unprofessional reporting. If you don't know the population of Bayelsa State on your laptop, you can get it on Wikipedia, anywhere. You can also go site and know how many people, even the state is 2 million, not everybody registered. You can get of the registered voters in the state. So even if Bayelsa is 12 million, which is not true, if you do the figure of Bayelsa, which is about 1.5 maybe 1.7. So once again, the reporters failed the people, and the editors who allow it to go also fail the paper. As it is, the media.
Very ridiculous.
How many people are in Bayelsa State? And PDP, how many are being defected? So it's a question of being slack, being irresponsible, and in the end, it does face of the media. The Nigerian newspaper, which meanwhile, only one paper would have been liable.
What do you think